my slime thing
Oh
again
fuck!
for a little bit because we're
Okay,
talking about
okay, I will.
morality.
Okay, okay. Now's the time. Now's the time for you to have your little, for the 50 billionth time across all of our videos and all
Every
of our
year,
streams. Every single time you have to bring up your favorite anime slime and talk about how much you love slime.
it's all about in the presentation of how these ideas are expressed and how that can be interpreted as, because most people who watch slime don't take this interpretation. It's only the weird people who think too much
It's the weird people like you, yeah.
who then say, damn.
Dicks. We fought them off.
Yeah, they follow off. They were so into spiritual, not spiritual, thinking and training the body, while those others were busy with vanity and jewelry, all those dumb stuff. No, we were real men, real people, real thinkers. But then it got a little bit too hairy, and then we asked Poseidon to drown them, and then they got the Atlanteans got drowned because they got too greedy. They had everything, but still needed to conquer everybody.
My main problem, which loops back into the video, is when people have this superiority complex of my take is the superior take. You need to bow to my glorious moral intuitions of slavery is bad, and any show that shows anything outside of total slavery destruction is morally deficient or whatever, right? That's what I thought. I thought it was very anti-slavery. So
let's go seriously into my slime thing again.
Oh fuck!
For a little bit, because we're talking about morality.
Okay. Now's the time. Now's the time for you to have your little, for the 50 billionth time across all of our videos and all of our streams. Every single time you have to bring up your favorite anime slime and talk about how much you love slime. You want to marry slime. Okay.
Domestic abuse is going to be.
I'm gonna shut up for a minute, and I will just let you go. Have fun.
So, if you're going to put morality onto fiction like that, I think it's more valuable to then have a kind of an interesting perspective, a new insight in how the show works, or how the show kind of skips some steps in the world or in morality. Therefore, I don't think it's very interesting to criticize Shield Hero for using slavery, because Shield Hero is very aware of what it's doing with slavery. Although I still think it gets kind of lazy, as it were, with resolving the slavery when it's no longer really needed for the trust issues. I feel, not for me, because I didn't stop watching a while ago, but I feel unless I'm told there's a resolution to the slavery and slave crests, until that time, I'll say it still needs a resolution for it. Now, if we're going to Slime, the first season in particular, where Rimuru is kind of enslaving people, binding them to his name, and building a whole society based on his ideals and his culture, and kind of, exhuming all the other cultures to have his own. And the orc, the pigmen are absorbed into the culture, the lizard man, even the nature spirits are joining the Japanese way of Rimuru. They're using real morality to kind of expose what Rimuru is doing. Is kind of interesting because the show doesn't really do it, and it's not very obvious on a first look. It might give you a new insight in how in kind of unintended effects of both Rimuru as a character and the author that is writing it. And that's not to say that the author himself holds these pro-slavery and get rid of all the cultures that aren't Japanese. Those aren't not that. That's not really the point of looking at it in that way. It's more. It's all about in the presentation of how these ideas are expressed and how that can be interpreted as. Because most people who watch Slime don't take this interpretation. It's only the weird people who think too much.
It's the weird people like you, yeah.
Who then say, "Damn, Rimuru is a massive slaveholder who commits cultural genocide and intellectual genocide."
Right.
Yeah, and I've been marinating on this point on this bit for a while.
You've been marinating on slime hate for the last like 4 years.
But I've been narrating on something else for a couple of years and I haven't mentioned it. So this because this also crosses a little bit over into author's intent and subjectivity, and oh no, you're just thinking too much, overthinking it. I want to put forth that the story of Atlantis, right?
Okay.
The story of Atlantis is written by.
Okay, wait. So to clarify, you mean the original story of Atlantis?
I was going to explain
ancient history version, or do you mean like the DreamWorks Disney movie Atlantis?
I was going to explain.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was like, are we going all the way back to that Atlantis? Or
so,
all right, I'll let you explain.
Atlantis was written by an old Greek guy who claimed he had gotten the story from the Egyptians because it was in the time of the Phoenicians, if I'm correct, and the Greeks themselves don't have written records on the Phoenicians. They only really have the Egyptians for them to kind of know what happened in their own lands before their own time. So this Greek guy says, "Oh no, I got this story from Egypt. That's where we all get our stories from." And it's a story about how our little people, the Phoenicians, they are so cool. They're the old Greeks. They're so cool. When the Atlanteans came and conquered everybody, they didn't conquer our ancestors. They didn't conquer because we're so cool.
We got big dicks. We fought them off.
Yeah, they fought them off. They were so into not spiritual, thinking and training the body, while those others were busy with vanity and jewelry, all those dumb stuff. No, we were real men, real people, real thinkers. But then it got a little bit too hairy, and then we asked Poseidon to drown them, and then the Atlanteans got drowned because they got too greedy. They had everything, but still needed to conquer everybody. But we, the Phoenicians, were so cool. Descendants of the Phoenicians were so cool because the Phoenicians held off the Atlanteans. 2,000 years later, Atlantis is super cool, man. It's about an all lost civilization, lost to time.
Yeah, it's a lost civilization and under
so
the sea.
That is basically my point of that. The original point of Atlantis was: are people very good?
Greed bad. Our people very good,
and
greed
also
bad.
Greed bad.
Yeah.
And it became Atlantis is super duper cool, and it's such a shame that it disappeared.
Yeah.
So that's the subjectivity of and how a story changes, and that's why Atlantis is why I don't mind giving wild interpretations about slime.
Right. So to loop back around, I think that it's fine to have these wild interpretations, and it's interesting to explore them. I think my problem, specifically with the video, right, in terms of the moral claiming and whatnot, is that there's always this undertone of, I don't like this, therefore no one should have it, right? Because you're not going to take slime away from people that like slime, obviously.
You're just going to yell at them a lot.
You're just
no.
going to yell. You're just going to yell. Well, you're not even going to do that, right? But you get what I
Nah.
mean, right? You're not making this claim that if you enjoy slime, you are immoral because you support the man doing the big slavery or whatever, right? Like, you're not making that point. You're merely just saying, hey, there's some interesting things going on here. Maybe we should talk about them, right? And I'll meme about it mostly just because you keep bringing it up all the time, right? I'll meme about it, but it is an interesting take and discussion, right?
Yeah.
But my main problem, which loops back into the video, is when people have this superiority complex of my take is the superior take. You need to bow to my glorious moral intuitions of slavery is bad, and any show that shows anything outside of total slavery destruction is morally deficient or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Also, just on Atlantis, I forgot a funny detail. Is when the old Greek guy was asked from, "Damn, why is everybody has really Greek names? Why aren't they, a little bit Egypt-like? Can we read the story that you got from the Egyptians?" And he said, "No. Only it's real. It exists though. It really came from Egypt. You can't read it.
You have to read my localization.
Trust me, it exists. Trust
me, bro. Yeah. So point taken that the moral view can change over time. Yeah, that's another aspect of it.
Also, people make shit up and tell it to say it's true.
Yeah, they make shit up. Yeah. So to loop back to Shock U's point,